I stayed in this house one night, and I'm talking about a picture in the newsletter that I'm reading here. I stayed in this house and I promised the owner some photos that I never delivered. I was a photographer at the time and I never delivered those. Do you ever feel guilty? Comes up from time to time for me, and it often brings me back to doing the work. But how do you do the work with guilt? It's kind of a strange emotion, not like anger, where it's usually easy to find the stressful thoughts to question. Guilt is a bit more covert. Here's what I notice about guilt. Underlying my feeling of guilt is often the belief that I need or want someone's approval. Not getting their approval can lead to guilt or anger. I feel anger if I'm not getting their approval because of something they are doing. For example, if they're not being fair or they're being impossible to please. But I feel guilty when I think it's something I'm doing that is preventing me from getting their approval. For example, if I'm not doing something that they want me to do. Instead of owning, I don't really want to do it, I opt for guilt. Feeling guilty is a way of holding on to both my conflicting desires, the desire for their approval and the desire to stay in my integrity. By feeling guilty, I don't have to choose. Guilt shows me my desire for approval. And not just my desire for approval, but often a desire for approval that goes against my integrity. For example, I took the photo above of this little house on a hill covered with flowers back in 2009. I was photographing the balsam root flowers that spring in Washington state. While wandering the hills, I came across this house and I asked for permission to park there and to photograph on their property. They were very generous and allowed me, and they invited me to stay overnight so that I could get up early in the morning when the light was good. I was grateful and I accepted, and I got some great photos the next day. On leaving, I promised them a photo. But the problem was that I offered because I thought I should. My offer was not 100% sincere. Yes, I was grateful sincerely to them, but I was also in the middle of moving, starting a new job, and dealing with a lot of competition for my time. I was promising them something that I wasn't in a position to deliver easily. But instead of not offering it, I acted out of guilt. I did what I thought I should do, and I felt guilty. Guilty, first of all, for leaving my integrity in the first place, and then guilty for not delivering what I said I would. Over the months and years after that, despite my guilt, or maybe because of it, I could never bring myself to make good on my promise. To this day, I've never sent them a photo that I promised. And of course, I conveniently lost their name and address after some time, making it even harder. So here comes the work. Here are some thoughts I can question. I want them to think I'm very grateful, like I'm a very grateful person. I want them to like my photography. I want them to remember me glowingly. Without these thoughts, all of which have to do with getting their approval, I could have stayed in my integrity and not offered any more than I could at the time. And I remember now, I also didn't have much money. So creating an extra print, which I was going to make a large print for them, that would have cost me at a time when I was having some difficulty financially. So it's never too late. I plan to question these thoughts. I may even write a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet on them in the moment when I was promising these things. And I may also question some other guilty beliefs that have come up since then. Like, I have to make good on a promise. If I don't deliver the photos, they will be disappointed at me. It's funny how I haven't even done the work on it, but I've already starting to feel lighter. And I know if I question some of these thoughts related to the guilt, who knows what I may do. I may even drive out to their place and deliver them a CD with all my photos from that shoot. Not because I want their approval, but only if it feels like my integrity to do so. My work will help me find my truth and open the options for me to take. So we'll end with a quote from Byron Katie's book, I Need Your Love. Is it true? The irony is that the struggle to win love and approval makes it very difficult to experience them. Chronic approval seekers don't realize that they are loved and supported not because of, but despite their efforts. And the more strenuously they seek, the less likely they are to notice.